Hey y'all, I just love this time of year where we have some fresh, warm season produce, but we also have some of those flavors from the winter. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some delicious succotash with a wine braised green. We're also going to make a creamy Italian pasta salad and some air fryer turkey legs, okay? Because y'all know it's getting hot. So none of these meals are going to heat up your house. Baby, you're going to burn in the kitchen, but you ain't going to burn up. Okay, do you hear me? All right. So let's go ahead and get started with the turkey legs. Now, these turkey legs are kind of lean, but since I am not going to be cooking them in the oven for a long period of time, burning up my whole house, y'all, I'm going to brine them. So I have 3 tablespoons of salt, and I'm just going to add some cool water. This salt will just dissolve in this water. Now, you can do this overnight. However, I won't try to do all that. So I just let this sit at room temperature for about 1 hour. Now, if that freaks you out, then just put it in the fridge and then take it out 30 minutes before you want to cook so it comes up to room temp. After an hour, I am going to drain out all of the brining water, and you want to dry off the turkey legs very well. We want that skin to get crispy, so you have to make sure that the turkey is really, really dry. If you love soul food, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so that you can be notified every time that I post. I'm going to start by coating my turkey legs in olive oil so that the seasonings will stick. You really can go in here with any seasons you like, but today I'm going to do a little bit of like a sweet and smoky. Okay, so I have a little brown sugar, smoked paprika, chicken seasoning, which of course works well in poultry, a little bit of herbs, of course some salt. So you do what you want, but this sweet and smoky combination was just giving me life. Okay, it was just doing everything for me. So I'm going to coat my turkey really well, and then I am going to place them in my air fryer. I love this air fryer because it is nice and big, and the square shape makes it easier to fit in more food. I'm going to add all 3 of them, and then I am going to spray them with some more olive oil. Very important. Don't let anybody fool you into thinking you don't need to use oil when you use an air fryer. You absolutely do, or else you're going to have dry food. I'm going to cook this at 400 degrees, and initially I'm going to put this on for 40 minutes, but at the end of the day, you really need to check this with a meat thermometer. If you have bigger turkey legs, then it may take the whole 40 minutes. However, mine were on the smaller side, so I really only needed about 30 minutes. These have been cooking for 20 minutes, and you can see they're nice and brown, looking delicious. I'm going to spray them with a little bit more olive oil, and then I'm going to turn all of them to the other side because, of course, you want that skin to become crispy as well. I put them back in for 10 more minutes, and then I checked them with my meat thermometer. At that point, I saw that they were at least 165 degrees, so I didn't need to cook any further. So if you have smaller turkey legs, about a 30-minute cooking time should be great for you. Allow these to rest for a few minutes before you eat them. And guys, you are going to have some delicious, tender turkey legs. I absolutely love this recipe. Let me know if you are going to make this. Succotash was a dish that my grandmother actually made a lot for me growing up. I never went to daycare. She always took care of us during the day, and she loved some corn and some lima beans. Now, my version is different than hers because I'm using peppers and fresh herbs and things like that, but this dish always makes me think about her. So I'm going to start with some frozen lima beans, and I'm going to put in 1 pound. These are not cooked, so you're going to need to cook them until they are just tender. Now, we ain't cooking these things until they all mushy and all of that. Just until they are tender. We will need them to hold their shape. I'm going to add a pinch of salt, and I simmered mine for about 25 to 30 minutes until they were just soft enough. If you are not a fan of lima beans, you can actually substitute in any bean that you like. So black-eyed peas can be used. Whatever it is, really succotash is based around beans and corn, so you can be flexible with the other things. I'm going to cook 3 strips of thick cut bacon, but of course if you don't eat bacon, then leave this out and just add extra butter. In fact, my grandmother mostly made this meatless, but I do like the flavor of the saltiness from the pork. Now I'm going to put in a yellow bell pepper and some onion. I'm going to saute this until it is lightly browned. That is going to take about 2 to 3 minutes. I always think that you have to season your food in layers. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to season these vegetables with a little bit of Creole seasoning. And y'all know I love some fresh herbs. So I'm going to put in some fresh thyme from my garden. That's going to add a really fresh taste, and it's going to season up the oil and the vegetables really well. I'm putting in 2 cloves of garlic that I've minced, and I'm just going to toast this for about 2 minutes before adding in some good quality butter. I say good quality because this dish is so simple that every ingredient really shines out. So I like to use like a Kerrygold butter or something like that. Today I'm using frozen corn, but my favorite is to use fresh corn. And I could not find frozen sweet corn, so this corn wasn't quite as sweet as I typically would use, but it still made everything taste delicious. I'm going to season everything up lightly, but to my own taste. I have a little bit of garlic powder, a bit of smoked paprika, some Creole seasoning. Of course, you want to use the classic salt and pepper, okay? And then I'm going to mix these and just allow them to bloom in the oil until they are nice and fragrant. Then I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of sugar. That's going to enhance the flavor of the corn. Now this is when everything comes together. Guys, can't you see this is such a quick and easy dish? I'm putting in my lima beans, my bacon, a bit more salt. I'm going to mix everything together and just adjust to my own taste. Now this is where you are really going to upgrade your succotash. I'm putting in fresh parsley and fresh basil. And then right at the end, I'm going to cut off the stove and add in some chopped up sweet cherry tomatoes. This is going to take everything to another level. Are you going to make this delicious succotash recipe? Up next is this creamy Italian pasta salad. This is one of my favorite things to make in the warm weather, because not only does this complement so many dishes, but it is such doggone easy to make. You know, we always have to have an easy side dish in our back pocket. Into my pasta water, I'm adding some chicken bouillon and some salt, and I'm going to cook 8 ounces of those little squiggly pastas according to the package instructions. Then I'm going to drain them and rinse them really well with cold water. You have to do this because you want to immediately stop the cooking process. I'm also going to spray the pasta with a little bit of olive oil before I put it in a Tupperware container and put it in the fridge to completely cool off. While that is cooling, I went ahead and mixed together a dressing. And let me tell you something, you have to have a nice dressing on a pasta salad. My mom told me that they used to have potlucks at her school, and there was a teacher who brought in a pasta salad that was literally just pasta and Italian dressing, and that was it. Y'all, that is not pasta salad, okay? Don't be taking that to the cookout, all right? Y'all need to make this recipe. You actually got to do a little something, okay? So we're mixing together mayo, sour cream, relish, a little bit of mustard, smoked paprika, salt, pepper, of course, Italian dressing. And I do like this salad supreme. If you can get a hold of it, this is nice. That is going to make a stellar creamy dressing. Now, you can use a lot of different things for the veg. I use a shredded carrot, half of a cut up onion, and some mixed sweet peppers, but olives would be good. You could add in some cut up ham or salami. So many different things you could add. When you're done, adjust the seasoning to your taste and put this in the fridge overnight or at least a few hours. Let me know if you're going to make this. Y'all, these wine braised greens are some of the best greens of my life. And if I'm lying, I'm flying, baby, and my tail's still on the ground. Big mama, if you make this, they gonna be drinking up that pot liquor, and shoot, you may even get your big daddy, okay, bring around these greens, because these greens gonna set it off, let me tell you, okay. So I am going to be putting in some brown sugar, some chipotle and garlic seasoning, Creole seasoning, pepper, and red pepper flakes. I'm adding this to my sauteed bacon and onions. I'm also going to add about a half of a tablespoon of chicken bouillon, and I'm just going to saute this for about a minute. Then I'm putting in 1 cup of a dry red wine. I'm just using, a little expensive one from the Aldi's, okay? And I'm going to add this. Now, you want to let this simmer until this sort of reduces by about half. So there's not going to be any alcohol in the greens. But this white wine is kind of going to act like your vinegar because it's acidic, and it is going to add a wonderful flavor. Then I'm going to put in a mixture of kale, turnip, and mustard greens, and 2 turkey tails. I know y'all know about that, okay? I'm going to add in a liter of boiling water just to help reduce the greens right away from my kettle. I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to let this simmer for about 1 hour to 1 hour and 10 minutes. Y'all gonna love these greens. They are tender. They are easy. Since I didn't use collards, there's not any bitterness. So good, okay? Let me know what you think about this meal idea and what recipes you are going to try. You guys know I love you and Jesus loves you, and I'll see you next time in Kamira's Kitchen. Goodbye and God bless.